Have you ever wondered if your body already holds the power to heal itself? In today's world, where we often reach for a pill bottle at the first sign of discomfort, it's easy to forget that the human body is an incredible healing machine. Modern life makes us believe that medicine alone restores balance. Yet, inspired by ancient Buddhist wisdom and confirmed by modern science, there is another truth waiting to be rediscovered. Your body knows how to heal. For millions of Americans, stress, poor diet, and exhaustion have become part of daily life. Long commutes, endless work emails, and fast food dinners eaten in the car leave us feeling drained. Chronic illnesses such as high blood pressure, diabetes, and anxiety are at an all-time high. And while modern medicine has given us life-saving tools, it cannot always offer the deeper healing that our minds and bodies are craving. But here's the good news. Healing does not only come from a pharmacy or a doctor's office. It begins within. The mind and body are deeply connected, and when we nurture this relationship, we awaken natural processes that restore balance, strength, and peace. Before we go any further, comment where in the world you are watching from, and make sure to subscribe because tomorrow's story is one you don't want to miss. Now imagine this. What if instead of constantly fighting our bodies, we learned to cooperate with them? What if we discovered daily practices, simple and natural, that strengthen our immune system, reduce stress, and bring clarity to our minds? What if wellness was less about adding more pills, and more about reconnecting with who we truly are? In this video, we will explore 6 timeless rules that reveal how the body can heal itself naturally. These principles are not abstract theories, but practical tools you can use in everyday life. From meditation that calms the restless mind, to mindful eating that transforms every meal into nourishment, to reconnecting with nature for peace and vitality, each rule is a reminder that true wellness begins inside you. Think of your health as a house. Medicine may repair a broken window or fix a leaking pipe, but the foundation, the walls, the roof, that's built by the way you live every single day. Without strong habits, even the best repairs won't last. But when you live in harmony with your body, you create a home that can withstand life's storms. This journey is not about rejecting modern medicine. Far from it. Western medicine has saved countless lives, and it will continue to do so. But healing becomes most powerful when we weave together the strengths of both worlds, science and ancient wisdom, technology and mindfulness, emergency care and daily prevention. Over the next few minutes, you'll discover how to integrate these 6 healing rules into your own life. You'll see how meditation bridges the gap between mind and body, how self-love and self-care refuel your inner energy, how mindful eating deepens gratitude, how healthy habits create resilience, how nature restores what stress takes away, and how modern medicine, when combined with wisdom, offers a complete path to health. So as you listen, take a deep breath. Imagine not just surviving, but truly thriving. Imagine waking up with more energy, moving through the day with clarity, and falling asleep with peace of mind. This is not a fantasy. It is a choice to honor the healing power already within you. Welcome to a new vision of health. Let's begin. In a world that never stops moving, silence has become a luxury. Emails pile up, phones buzz every few minutes, and even when we sit down to rest, our minds keep racing. We replay past conversations, worry about tomorrow's deadlines, and scroll through endless social media feeds. Our bodies beg for rest, yet our minds push us forward. No wonder stress, insomnia, and burnout have become almost normal in American life. Buddhist wisdom offers a powerful reminder. True healing begins when the mind and body work in harmony, not against each other. And one of the most effective ways to restore this balance is through meditation. A sanctuary within. Meditation is often misunderstood. People picture monks in distant temples, sitting cross-legged for hours in silence. But in truth, meditation is not about escaping life. It's about returning to it more fully. Think of it as a sanctuary inside yourself, a quiet room you can step into any time. You don't need incense, chanting, or exotic rituals. You only need yourself, a chair or cushion, and a few minutes of willingness to pause. The practice is simple. Sit comfortably, close your eyes if you wish, and notice your breath. Each inhale, each exhale, like gentle waves on a calm shore. Thoughts will come. They always do. But instead of fighting them, you watch them pass, like clouds drifting across the sky. In this space of stillness, your heart rate slows, your breathing deepens, and your nervous system shifts out of fight or flight mode into rest and repair. This is the body's natural healing response, and meditation is the key to unlocking it. The science of stillness. For centuries, meditation was seen as a spiritual practice. Today, science confirms what Buddhist monks have known all along. Harvard researchers discovered that regular meditation lowers cortisol, the stress hormone linked to anxiety, high blood pressure, and even weakened immunity. Johns Hopkins University found that mindfulness meditation can be as effective as antidepressants in treating mild depression and anxiety. Even the U.S. military uses meditation-based programs to help veterans cope with PTSD. Imagine a soldier who spent years haunted by combat memories, unable to sleep without nightmares. Through guided meditation, he learns to breathe through the flashbacks, to observe his fear without being consumed by it. Slowly, sleep returns, calm returns, and healing begins, not from a pill, but from his own mind's ability to settle. Everyday Americans finding peace. Consider Mark, a 42-year-old accountant in Chicago. For years, he battled migraines triggered by stress at work. Doctors prescribed painkillers, but the headaches always returned. On the advice of a colleague, he tried meditation. At first, he lasted only 2 minutes before giving up. But with patience, 2 minutes became 5, then 10. Within months, his migraines were less frequent, his sleep improved, and he noticed something even more surprising. He was less reactive. Arguments at the office didn't ignite his temper. Traffic jams no longer ruined his evenings. Meditation didn't erase my problems, Mark says. It changed the way I face them. Then there's Elena, a single mom in Texas juggling 2 jobs and raising a teenager. Exhausted and overwhelmed, she discovered walking meditation. Instead of collapsing on the couch after work, she walked slowly around her block, focusing on the rhythm of her steps and the feel of the evening breeze. Those 15 minutes became my reset button, she explains. I found a pocket of peace in the middle of chaos. These are not monks or mystics. They are everyday Americans proving that meditation is not just a philosophy, it's practical medicine for the modern soul. Beyond stillness, what makes meditation powerful is its flexibility. It doesn't always require sitting in silence. For some, it's mindful yoga. For others, it's deep breathing in the car before walking into a stressful meeting. Even savoring a cup of tea in complete presence can be meditation. Group practice adds another layer. When people meditate together, whether in a yoga studio, a church basement, or even a workplace wellness program, there's a collective calm that amplifies the experience. Shared silence builds connection. Healing becomes not just personal, but communal. The gentle path. Still, many beginners struggle. They expect instant calm, and when the mind wanders, they feel like failures. But wandering is natural. Meditation is not about forcing the mind to be blank. It's about noticing when it strays and gently bringing it back. Each return strengthens the muscle of awareness, just like lifting weights builds physical strength. Over time, this gentle discipline transforms lives. Stressful situations lose their power to overwhelm. Focus sharpens. Patience grows. The body heals not because problems vanish, but because the nervous system learns how to stay balanced amidst the storm. A way of living. Ultimately, meditation is more than a practice. It is a way of living. A way of moving through the world with clarity instead of confusion, with calm instead of chaos. It teaches us that peace is not found in a pill, a paycheck, or a perfect life. It is cultivated moment by moment, breath by breath. When you sit quietly and breathe, you are not escaping reality. You are training yourself to meet reality with open eyes and a steady heart. And in that steadiness, healing begins, naturally, gently, powerfully. So the next time stress tightens your chest or insomnia steals your night, remember this. You already carry the cure. Close your eyes. Take a breath. The sanctuary is within you. In our fast-paced culture, it often feels easier to show kindness to others than to ourselves. We cheer for our children, support our friends, and lend a hand at work, but when it comes to our own needs, we push them aside. Many Americans live under the silent weight of exhaustion, working long hours, juggling family responsibilities, and silently believing that caring for themselves is selfish. Buddhist wisdom turns this idea upside down. True well-being begins with how we treat our own minds and bodies. Self-love and self-care are not indulgences. They are necessities. Without them, our energy drains away. With them, we flourish. The battery of life. Think of your body and mind as a smartphone. When the battery runs low, you don't yell at the phone for being weak, you recharge it. Yet how often do we expect ourselves to keep running without rest, without nourishment, without care? No wonder burnout, depression, and anxiety have become national epidemics. Self-love is the act of recognizing your own worth, of saying, I am enough, even when you're not perfect. Self-care is the action that follows, recharging your battery through small, intentional choices. Together, they create the energy we need not only to survive, but to give. The story of Melissa. Melissa, a mother of two from Austin, Texas, knows this struggle well. For years, she worked 2 jobs, rushing from one shift to another while caring for her kids. She rarely slept more than 5 hours a night and lived on coffee and fast food. By the time she was 38, Melissa felt like a shadow of herself, exhausted, irritable, and convinced she was failing both at work and at home. One evening, after snapping at her son for leaving his homework unfinished, she broke down in tears. I realized I wasn't angry at him. I was empty, she later explained. That night, Melissa promised herself one small act of self-care every day. At first, it was just 10 minutes of stretching before bed. Then it became cooking one healthy meal on Sundays. Slowly, her energy returned. She set boundaries at work, carving out evenings to rest. The surprising result? Not only did Melissa feel calmer, but her relationship with her children improved. When I cared for myself, I had more love to give, she said. Her journey revealed a truth we often forget. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Science backs compassion. Modern research echoes this wisdom. Studies from the University of Texas show that people who practice self-compassion experience less anxiety and depression. The National Institutes of Health has linked self-care routines, like adequate sleep, physical activity, and stress management, to longer lifespans and reduced risk of chronic illness. In other words, self-love isn't fluffy talk. It's preventive medicine. Everyday practices. So how do we put self-love and self-care into practice in real life? Here are a few simple, powerful steps. Affirmations. Speaking kindness to yourself can rewire thought patterns. Saying I deserve peace, or I am growing every day, reminds your mind that you are worthy. Boundaries. Just as a garden needs a fence, our well-being needs protection. Saying no to overcommitment or negativity is not selfish, it's essential. Rest. Sleep is not a luxury. It's a biological necessity. A rested brain makes clearer decisions, regulates mood, and boosts immunity. Joyful activities. A walk in the park, listening to music, reading a book. These aren't wastes of time, but investments in mental health. Overcoming barriers. Of course, self-love is not always easy. Many of us grew up with voices of criticism, teachers, parents, or even our own inner dialogue, that told us we weren't good enough. Comparison culture, fueled by social media, adds to the pressure. Breaking free from this cycle can feel like climbing a mountain. But every step counts. Like Melissa, you don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Start small. Choose one act of kindness toward yourself today. That seed, when watered daily, grows into resilience, confidence, and joy. From personal to collective. What's remarkable is how self-care ripples outward. When one person chooses balance, the people around them benefit too. A calmer parent raises calmer children. A healthier worker contributes more effectively. Communities built on individuals who honor themselves naturally become stronger, more compassionate, and more resilient. In Buddhist teaching, love for others is inseparable from love for oneself. Just as a lamp cannot shine without oil, a human being cannot sustain love without energy. Caring for yourself, then, is not selfish. It is the foundation of generosity. The heart of the lesson. Imagine your life as a road trip. Medicine might fix the car when it breaks, but self-love and self-care are the fuel that keeps you moving forward. Without fuel, the car won't go anywhere. With it, you can reach incredible destinations. So ask yourself, when was the last time you truly recharged? When was the last time you treated yourself with the same patience and kindness you give to others? Because here's the truth. When you honor yourself, you don't just heal your own body and mind. You create the space to live fully, to love deeply, and to share that peace with the world. In today's America, meals often feel more like pit stops than experiences. Breakfast is a granola bar eaten in the car, lunch is rushed at a desk, and dinner might be takeout in front of a glowing TV. Eating has become automatic, something we squeeze between meetings, phone calls, or kids' activities. But Buddhist wisdom teaches us that food is more than fuel. It is an opportunity for awareness, gratitude, and healing. This is the essence of mindful eating. It doesn't mean following strict diets or cutting out everything you love. It simply means slowing down, paying attention, and treating each meal as an act of care. Why mindful eating matters. Have you ever finished a meal and realized you barely tasted it? Or eaten so quickly that you felt heavy and uncomfortable afterward? These are signs of disconnection, your body sending messages that went unheard. Mindful eating reconnects us. When we slow down, we notice flavors, textures, and aromas. We feel the signals of hunger and fullness. We remember that behind every bite is the work of farmers, the richness of soil, the energy of the sun. Gratitude replaces autopilot. Science backs this up. Harvard School of Public Health has shown that eating without distractions improves digestion, reduces overeating, and supports healthy weight management. People who practice mindful eating are less likely to binge eat and more likely to feel satisfied with smaller portions. The story of Daniel. Take Daniel, a 14-year-old from Los Angeles. Like many kids, he grew up with fast food, soda, and late-night snacks in front of video games. By the time he was in middle school, Daniel was overweight and constantly tired. His parents worried, but diets never worked. He always felt deprived, and soon went back to old habits. Then his school introduced a wellness program that included mindful eating. At first, it sounded strange. Eat slower? Pay attention to chewing? But Daniel gave it a try. One afternoon, instead of inhaling a bag of chips, he sat down with a single apple. He noticed its bright red skin, the crunch of the first bite, the sweetness that lingered on his tongue. For the first time, eating felt like an experience, not just a chore. 6 months later, Daniel wasn't just lighter in weight, he was lighter in spirit. He ate less junk food not because he was forbidden, but because his body no longer craved it. His grades improved, his energy soared, and he discovered that slowing down gave him more control over his choices. Practical steps for daily life. Mindful eating doesn't require special training. Here are a few simple practices you can try right now. Pause before eating. Take a moment of gratitude for the meal, for the people and processes that made it possible. Turn off distractions. No TV, no scrolling on your phone. Just you and the food. Chew slowly. Notice textures and flavors. Give your body time to register fullness. Listen to your body. Stop when you're satisfied, not when the plate is empty. Choose nourishment. Notice how different foods make you feel. Energized? Heavy? Restless? Let your body teach you. Even small changes make a big difference. Replacing just one rushed meal a day with mindful eating can shift your entire relationship with food. A spiritual practice, a scientific truth. In Buddhist teaching, eating with awareness is an act of respect for the body, the earth, and all beings involved in bringing food to the table. It transforms a simple meal into a sacred ritual of connection. But this is not just philosophy. Studies from the University of California show that people who eat mindfully reduce emotional eating and improve metabolic health. It is both a spiritual practice and a scientific truth. The dinner table reimagined. Imagine a family in Ohio who once ate every meal in silence, each person glued to a screen. Now they set aside 30 minutes each evening. Phones stay off, the TV stays dark. They share a simple home-cooked meal, passing dishes around, tasting each bite slowly. Conversation flows, laughter rises, and the meal becomes more than food, it becomes connection. For them, dinner is no longer just about calories. It is about community, gratitude, and peace. The heart of the lesson. Mindful eating reminds us that food is not the enemy, nor is it just fuel. It is medicine, medicine for the body and the spirit. When we slow down, savor, and listen, we transform every meal into a moment of healing. So the next time you sit down to eat, try this. Put away distractions, take a deep breath, and truly notice your first bite. Taste it. Feel it. Be present with it. In that moment, you're not just eating. You are healing. We often think of health as something shaped by big events, surgeries, medical diagnoses, or life-changing decisions. But in reality, health is built in the quiet, ordinary moments of daily life. The way you start your morning, the food you choose for lunch, the hours you sleep at night, all of these small habits stack together like bricks. Over time, they either build a strong foundation or leave cracks that grow into serious problems. Buddhist wisdom teaches that balance is the key to lasting well-being. And modern science agrees. Consistency in healthy habits can prevent most of the chronic illnesses that weigh heavily on American society today. The morning matters. A mindful day begins with how we start it. For some, mornings are a blur, hitting snooze, grabbing coffee, rushing out the door. But even 5 intentional minutes can change the tone of the day. Imagine waking up and stepping outside for a short walk. The cool air fills your lungs, the rising sun warms your skin. Or maybe it's gentle stretching in your living room, accompanied by a few deep breaths. These small rituals are like saying, I choose health today. Science shows that morning movement, even light exercise, boosts metabolism, sharpens focus, and reduces stress hormones. It's not about perfection. It's about intention. The balance of work and rest. In America, work often dominates life. Long hours at the office, overtime shifts, and the glorification of hustle culture leave millions exhausted. But the truth is simple. A body that never rests cannot heal. The Centers for Disease Control reports that 1 in 3 adults in the U.S. doesn't get enough sleep. The consequences? Increased risk of obesity, diabetes, depression, and even shortened lifespan. Rest is not laziness, it is medicine. Consider Karen, a 47-year-old nurse in Ohio. For years, she worked night shifts, surviving on energy drinks and little sleep. Her blood pressure soared, and she lived in constant fatigue. It wasn't until she prioritized rest, setting boundaries at work, creating a bedtime ritual, and letting herself truly sleep, that her health turned around. I thought pushing harder made me stronger, Karen reflects. But rest gave me back my life. Moving the body, freeing the mind. Exercise doesn't have to mean expensive gym memberships or intense workouts. It can be simple, joyful movement. Dancing in your kitchen, walking the dog, playing basketball with your kids. The CDC recommends 150 minutes of moderate activity per week. Just 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. This can lower the risk of heart disease, strengthen bones, improve mental health, and even boost memory. Think of John, a 50-year-old office worker in New York. Years of sitting left him overweight and sluggish. One day, he collapsed at his desk. Doctors warned him, change your lifestyle, or you won't live to see your grandchildren. Shaken, John began walking in Central Park every morning. At first, 10 minutes left him breathless. But weeks turned into months, and today he walks 3 miles daily. His weight dropped, his blood pressure normalized, and his outlook on life transformed. I didn't just add years to my life, he says. I added life to my years. Food is fuel. Healthy routines extend to nutrition. Mindful eating, as we discussed earlier, connects us with our meals. But beyond awareness, the choices themselves matter. Fresh fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains provide the energy our bodies need. Processed foods, excess sugar, and late-night snacking drain vitality. Building a healthy lifestyle doesn't mean banning every treat. It means creating balance, choosing nourishing foods most of the time while enjoying indulgences in moderation. The role of time management. A hidden barrier to healthy living is poor time management. When days feel chaotic, healthy habits are the first to disappear. That's why planning matters. Preparing meals ahead of time, scheduling exercise like an appointment, and setting regular sleep hours create structure that supports well-being. Think of it like conducting a symphony. Work, rest, food, movement, relationships all play different instruments. When each gets its proper place, life becomes harmonious. When one overwhelms the rest, chaos follows. Removing weeds, planting seeds. Changing habits is not easy. Late-night screen scrolling, skipping workouts, or eating fast food are weeds in the garden of health. Pulling them out requires patience and consistency. But when you do, space opens for nourishing seeds, daily walks, evening reading, healthier meals. The key is progress, not perfection. Some days you'll stumble. That's part of the process. What matters is returning again and again to the intention of care. Flexibility in the face of life. Life is unpredictable. A new job, a family crisis, an illness, routines will shift. Flexibility keeps habits alive during change. If you can't walk outside, stretch indoors. If cooking feels overwhelming, choose a healthier takeout option. Adaptation isn't failure, it's resilience. The heart of the lesson. Healthy living is not built on one grand act, but on countless small ones. It's the choice to drink water instead of soda, to rest instead of overwork, to walk instead of sit. Each choice adds a brick to the house of your health. Buddhist wisdom reminds us, a balanced life creates a balanced self. Modern science confirms, consistent habits prevent disease and extend life. Together, they show us that health is not an accident. It is built, moment by moment, habit by habit. So ask yourself, what one small change can you make today? Go to bed 30 minutes earlier? Take a walk during lunch? Turn off your phone an hour before sleep. Because here's the truth, these little acts are not little at all. They are the foundation of a stronger, longer, more vibrant life. When we think of healing, our minds often jump straight to hospitals, pharmacies, or therapy sessions. But there is another source of renewal available to us every single day, one that requires no prescription, no insurance, and no appointment. That medicine is nature. For centuries, spiritual traditions have pointed to the natural world as a place of balance and restoration. Today, science confirms what our ancestors always knew. Spending time outdoors heals both body and mind. The science of green. Researchers at the University of Michigan found that even 20 minutes spent in nature lowers stress hormones. The Mayo Clinic reports that walking in green spaces can reduce blood pressure, improve mood, and strengthen the immune system. Japan has made forest bathing a national health practice, where simply being among trees is considered a medical treatment. Why does it work? Because our bodies are designed for it. For thousands of years, humans lived in close relationship with rivers, forests, and open skies. Only recently have we crowded ourselves into concrete cities, staring at glowing screens for most of the day. Nature is not just scenery, it's our original home, and our nervous systems remember it. A walk in the park. Consider James, a 35-year-old software engineer in Seattle. He spent most of his days hunched over a laptop, working late nights, surviving on caffeine. His anxiety grew so severe that he developed panic attacks. Therapy helped, but his breakthrough came from something simpler, a daily walk in a nearby park. At first, it felt trivial, but soon he noticed the rhythm of his footsteps, the rustling of leaves, the smell of damp earth. Each walk quieted his mind, like hitting a reset button. The park became my therapy room, James explains. His panic attacks faded, his sleep improved, and his perspective widened. Nature as teacher. Buddhist philosophy often views nature as a living teacher. A river shows us flow and adaptability. A tree teaches patience and resilience. The vast sky reminds us of freedom. These metaphors are not just poetic, they shift the way we see our own struggles. When we align with nature's rhythm, we remember that storms pass, seasons change, and renewal is always possible. Hospitals and healing gardens. Hospitals are beginning to embrace this truth. In Pennsylvania, one medical center created a healing garden for post-surgery patients. Studies showed that those who spent time outdoors healed faster and needed fewer painkillers than those confined indoors. Something as simple as a tree outside a window can make a measurable difference in recovery. This echoes what Buddhist monks have practiced for centuries, using natural settings as spaces for meditation and healing. It's a wisdom now validated by modern medicine, bringing nature into daily life. You don't need to live near a forest or mountain to benefit. Even in urban settings, nature is closer than you think. A short walk in a neighborhood park, tending to a houseplant on your windowsill, sitting on a porch to watch the sunset, listening to birdsong while sipping morning coffee. Each small moment reconnects you with the earth and restores balance to your nervous system. Collective healing. Nature doesn't just heal individuals, it strengthens communities. When neighbors come together to plant trees, clean rivers, or preserve green spaces, they not only improve the environment, but also deepen social bonds. Healing becomes both personal and collective. In Detroit, a community-led project transformed abandoned lots into gardens. Residents not only gained fresh food, but also a renewed sense of pride and connection. The garden gave us hope, one participant shared. This illustrates how nature heals the soul of a neighborhood as much as it does the body of a person. A pause from the noise. Think of your own life. How often do you feel overwhelmed by noise, traffic, headlines, constant notifications? Now picture standing under a wide open sky. The air is still, the horizon endless. In that moment, your worries feel smaller, your breath deeper, your heart calmer. That is the gift of nature, perspective. The heart of the lesson. Nature is more than background scenery. It is medicine, teacher, and companion. It calms the mind, restores the body, and nourishes the spirit. Whether it's a weekend hike, a few minutes in your backyard, or a quiet moment with a houseplant, nature is always offering healing, if we choose to accept it. So the next time stress weighs heavy or life feels overwhelming, don't just reach for your phone or another cup of coffee. Step outside. Breathe the air. Notice the sky. Touch the earth. In those simple acts, you are not just surviving, you are healing. Modern medicine is one of humanity's greatest achievements. Antibiotics, vaccines, surgeries, and advanced treatments have saved millions of lives. In the United States alone, life expectancy has doubled in the last century, largely thanks to medical science. And yet, for all its miracles, modern medicine is not the whole story of health. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that true healing goes beyond fixing symptoms. It requires nurturing the roots of well-being, mind, body, and spirit. To live fully, we must weave together the precision of science and the timeless guidance of wisdom. The limits of medicine. Think of a painkiller. It eases discomfort, but it doesn't solve the problem that caused the pain. Blood pressure medication lowers numbers, but without lifestyle changes, the underlying stress on the heart remains. In many ways, medicine is like patching a roof. It stops the leak, but if the foundation is cracked, the house will still collapse. This doesn't mean medicine is bad. On the contrary, it is vital. But it should be seen as part of a larger system, not the entire solution. Stories from real life. Take Maria, a 52-year-old woman in Florida diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Doctors prescribed insulin, which kept her blood sugar under control. But Maria still felt tired, anxious, and trapped. Then she joined a wellness program that combined medical treatment with mindful eating, walking groups, and meditation. Within a year, she had reduced her insulin dosage by half. Her doctor was amazed, but Maria wasn't. She had learned that medicine managed her condition, but lifestyle changes transformed her life. Or consider Michael, a 45-year-old father in Denver who survived a heart attack. Emergency surgery and medication saved his life. But what kept him alive afterward was a daily routine of meditation, balanced meals, and exercise. The hospital gave me another chance, he says. My habits made sure I didn't waste it. Prevention is the strongest medicine. One of the greatest opportunities we often overlook is prevention. Instead of waiting until illness appears, we can strengthen the body and mind each day. The Centers for Disease Control reports that up to 80% of chronic illnesses, like heart disease, diabetes, and stroke, are preventable with healthy habits. Nutritious food, physical activity, restful sleep, and stress management are forms of medicine in themselves. Prevention is like building a strong house before the storm arrives. The role of knowledge. In the age of the internet, health information is everywhere. Some of it is helpful, but much of it is misleading. That's why knowledge matters. Asking questions, checking reliable sources like the NIH or Mayo Clinic, and seeking multiple perspectives empowers us to make informed choices. Think of knowledge as a compass. Medicine provides tools, but wisdom helps us decide when and how to use them. Integrating science and wisdom. So how do we balance modern medicine with ancient practices? By weaving them together like threads in a fabric. Medicine provides precision and emergency care. Lifestyle and mindfulness provide prevention and resilience. Together, they create a holistic approach, stronger than either alone. Consider the analogy of a car. If the engine breaks, you need a mechanic, medicine. But to avoid breakdowns, you need fuel, regular maintenance, and careful driving, lifestyle, and wisdom. Both are necessary if you want the car to last. Healing as a community. Health is not just individual, it's collective. Communities that educate themselves, share resources, and encourage wellness create environments where everyone benefits. For example, workplaces that introduce meditation breaks or healthier cafeteria options see improved productivity and reduced healthcare costs. Families that eat together and encourage outdoor play build resilience across generations. A balanced path. In the end, modern medicine is a gift, but it is not the entire story. It saves lives in moments of crisis. But what shapes the quality of those lives is how we live every day. The choices we make, the care we give ourselves, and the wisdom we carry forward. The most powerful path to health is not choosing between East and West, old and new, medicine and mindfulness. It is choosing both. It is embracing a balanced vision where science treats the emergencies and wisdom builds the foundation. The heart of the lesson. Imagine your body as a garden. Medicine is the gardener's toolkit, pruning shears, fertilizer, pest control. It can fix urgent problems, but if you never water, never nourish the soil, never let sunlight in, no amount of tools will keep the garden alive. Healing requires both, the precision of the toolkit and the daily rhythm of care. So the next time you think about your health, don't ask, should I choose medicine or mindfulness? Ask instead, how can I use both together? Because true wellness is not about one path or the other. It is about walking them side by side. As we reach the end of this journey, let's pause and reflect on everything we've explored. We began with meditation, discovering how stillness quiets the storm inside us and activates the body's natural healing systems. We learned the power of self-love and self-care, how recharging our inner battery gives us the strength to love others more fully. We practiced mindful eating, transforming ordinary meals into moments of gratitude and nourishment. We saw how healthy routines build resilience brick by brick, and how nature itself is a medicine waiting just outside our doors. Finally, we balanced the strengths of modern medicine with timeless wisdom, realizing that true healing comes from using both together. What do these 6 rules have in common? They remind us that health is not something handed to us by a doctor or a pill bottle. It is something we build, nurture, and protect through daily choices. Your body is not a broken machine in need of constant fixing. It is a living garden with incredible capacity to grow, repair, and thrive when given the right care. The garden within. Imagine your health as a garden. Medicine is like the fire hose firefighters use when flames erupt. It saves lives in emergencies. But no garden thrives on emergency measures alone. To keep it alive, you must water it daily, remove weeds, and let the sun in. Meditation waters the mind with calm. Self-love fertilizes the soil with compassion. Mindful eating provides the nutrients that keep growth steady. Healthy habits act as the fence, protecting against decay. Nature is the sunlight, restoring balance. And medicine, the firefighter's hose, stands ready when the unexpected storm arrives. Together, these elements ensure the garden not only survives, but blossoms. From individual to collective healing. What makes these practices even more powerful is that they don't stop with you. A calmer parent raises calmer children. A healthier employee inspires colleagues. Communities that embrace these habits create a ripple effect of wellness. Think of a workplace where lunch breaks are spent walking in the park instead of hunched over desks. Or a family where dinner means putting phones away and sharing mindful meals. Or a neighborhood where people plant gardens together, strengthening both their health and their bonds. Healing is not just personal, it is collective. A shift in perspective. Too often, we define health as the absence of disease. But what if health meant more than that? What if it meant waking up with energy, moving through the day with focus, connecting with others with compassion, and falling asleep with peace? This is the vision these 6 rules offer. They don't promise immortality, but they do promise vitality. They don't eliminate all suffering, but they give us the strength to face it with clarity and courage. A personal choice. At the heart of it all is choice. Every day, you are offered hundreds of small opportunities. To breathe deeply, to rest when tired, to savor food, to step outside, to speak kindly to yourself. These choices seem small, but together they shape your destiny. You don't need to wait for a health crisis to begin. You can start today. 5 minutes of meditation, 1 mindful meal, a short walk under the open sky, 1 act of kindness toward yourself. Each step is a seed planted in the garden of your well-being. Closing reflection. So let me leave you with this. Your body has always known how to heal. It whispers through your breath, your heartbeat, your hunger, your need for rest. When you honor those whispers, when you live in balance with both science and wisdom, you give your body the chance to do what it was designed to do. Heal, thrive, and live fully. The path is simple but profound. Meditation for peace, self-love for strength, mindful eating for balance, healthy routines for resilience, nature for renewal, and medicine for protection. Together, they form a circle of healing that carries you not only through sickness, but through life itself. Your health is not just about surviving. It is about living with energy, clarity, and joy. And that future begins now, with 1 choice, 1 breath, 1 step. Health is not only about avoiding disease, it's about living with energy, balance, and joy. This story reminds us that healing is not a single event, but a lifelong process, shaped by daily choices. The 6 rules reveal a powerful truth. Your body and mind are not separate. Meditation calms the storms within, self-love recharges your strength, mindful eating transforms meals into medicine, healthy routines build resilience, nature restores what stress destroys, and modern medicine saves lives when crises strike. Together, they create a complete circle of healing. The bigger lesson is this: wellness is not found in extremes. It's not about rejecting medicine, nor is it about ignoring ancient wisdom. True health comes from integration, science and spirituality, prevention and treatment, stillness and action. In a society that glorifies busyness and quick fixes, these principles invite us to slow down, pay attention, and honor the simple truths of being human. Healing does not always mean adding more. It often means returning to what has always been there: breath, rest, nourishment, connection. And perhaps the most profound takeaway is that caring for yourself is not selfish. It is the foundation for caring for others. When we honor our own well-being, we create a ripple effect: stronger families, healthier communities, and a more compassionate world. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, remember, healing begins not in the pharmacy, but in the choices you make each day. If this story gave you a new perspective on health, don't keep it to yourself, share it. Someone you know might be struggling right now, waiting for hope, and this could be the reminder they need. Hit that like button, leave us a comment, and tell us, which of these 6 rules do you feel ready to try first in your own life? Is it meditation, self-care, eating mindfully, or simply spending more time in nature? Your answer might inspire someone else watching. And of course, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's story. It's one that could change the way you think about resilience forever. We're building a community of people who believe health is not just survival. It's about living fully. And we'd love for you to be part of it.